Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, this is an absolutely odd hour for me to be on, but I've missed you guys. I have. I haven't been on this channel pretty much all week. And I've missed you guys. I missed you. I missed you. I have been on TikTok all mother effing week. All mother effing week. Hi, Mindy. Let me just get some cards ready. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is plotting behind your back, but you already know. You already know. You already knew. I don't know what they're doing. Hopefully it's good plotting. Maybe it's like a birthday surprise or something. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully it's a good thing though, right? It doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It could be a good thing. Are we already in Gemini season? Is that what it is? Are we already entered into Gemini season? When does Gemini season begin? I think we have. I'm not sure. I think we might have. We might have. I don't know how that pertains to this reading, but we're almost ready. Okay, one more deck that I'm going to pull from, and then we're going to start. Just a few more days. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, we're ready. Let's go. Okay. Oh, someone's trying something. Not going to work. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Uh-huh. Yep. Okay. So there's someone trying to interfere with your security, your stability. They're being annoying, whoever this is, whatever this is, it's more of an inconvenience than an actual threat to you at this point. I think this is something that you've dealt with for quite some time, and you need to begin recognizing all of these empty threats that you've been receiving from this individual, right? They say they're gonna this, they say they're gonna that, but I mean, do they ever really? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I've found that when someone continuously says things, but you see no action behind it, you can just ignore them at that point. You need to conserve your energy for the things that you want to build for yourself. Now, I think part of the issue here that's giving whoever this is, this annoying hemorrhoid of an individual, the opportunity to affect you so negatively, to inconvenience you in the way that they have, is because you haven't actually set an intention for yourself. You need to make sure that you allow yourself to be very clear with yourself about what it is you want to create. We're entering into a window of extreme potentiality, extreme elevations in in goodness. I mean, don't waste this window. Amazing things can be happening for you very, very soon, but you have to put that groundwork in right now. And whatever this individual is, whatever this situation is that you've been dealing with, that has been an absolute thief of joy, there's varying degrees of slappage, like soft slap, hard slap. You know what I'm saying? I think you should pick, oh, my grow light turned off. This one's going to turn off too. I think you just need to put some gumption behind your decision to leave all of that caca behind. You need to make a decision and be very strong in your thoughts of how you're going to make this happen. Okay? Just really be like, I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. And then make it happen. Actually make it happen. Put all the effort, all the energy, just really, really, really make it happen. Okay? Um, this is something that refuses to truly be banished. Who cares? Let them waste their entire time and life and energy trying to figure out a way to be relevant. They're irrelevant. Once you choose for something to be irrelevant in your life and journey, it is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. When you have secured all the entry spaces and there is no room for other people's caca to get into your life, to affect your thoughts and the way you move through your journey, who cares what they're doing at that point? Who cares what they're doing at that point? Right? When you've already laid down the groundwork for the correction and, you've done everything that needs to be done, and now it's time for you to focus on what you want to build, then that's what you need to focus on. Whatever it is that this plotting behind your back, right? That's happening. This, I don't know what they are. They're just like they're nasty. And nothing's gonna come of it. Nothing's gonna come of it. The only thing that can come of it is a waste of your time and energy and like um distracting you and delaying the inevitable accomplishments that you will have. You're going to accomplish something during this period. It's just a matter of how quickly do you want that to happen? How potent do you want to be in your effort? Are you going to allow, you know, distractions to cause you to slow down, to cause you to make missteps, to expend energy that shouldn't be expended in that way? Someone's drinking some sweet tea. I taste it and I smell it. Which one of you is drinking some sweet tea? It's very sweet tea. It's like southern sweet tea. It's like liquid sugar. It damn tastes good, dude. It tastes damn good is what it tastes like. And I smell it too. What is that? That I don't think that's just like black tea. That's some other type of like it's a tea mix of some kind. It's not an instant tea. It's brewed. Like I can taste it. I can smell it and taste it. And then there's a little hint of lemon in there. No, it's real sweet tea. It is some real authentic sweet tea. It's not no Yankee sweet tea. It tastes real good. Whoever and I think whoever's drinking it got embarrassed, so they're not gonna say it. That's okay. You just go right ahead um and drink your liquid sugar. It tastes good. It tastes good. But here, you're awakening to the reality of what's being created for you by your soul. There's opportunities that are being aligned for you in this period. I would say in the next 2-3 weeks, there will be things that will help you to better understand the direction you're supposed to go into. I think you have somewhat of an idea, but you don't trust yourself. You don't want to, it's almost like you don't want to believe that you're actually being guided. In my experience with clients and people who have become near and dear to my heart, it's really been this thing of like the ones who are always like, "Oh, I don't have any gifts," are the ones who are the most gifted, like, the most gifted. Um, I'm gonna share this, and I hope the person I hope the person doesn't mind that I'm sharing this. Um, so they had reached out and sent a message, and they knew that I had, put down my dog, and, they were talking about some details of something that they saw, like this kind of like a visual, a specific date and a visual, and no one knew any dates about anything because, as y'all already know, I've been in varying stages and degrees of shutdown. Yeah, no, it's actually not funny, but yeah, okay. So they give me this detail that on a specific date, they had some random visual of me on the floor with my dog. Mhm. And this is someone that quite regularly says, like, they don't have the ability to see, they don't, they can't this, they can't that. Um, yeah. And here's the crazy thing. That specific date that they mentioned, and again, I haven't said any dates to anybody about anything. I literally, yeah, I slept on the floor with her the whole night, holding her paw with her face pressed up against mine. I literally slept on the floor all night, and I woke up to her smiling. She had like this goofy smile, and that's what the person saw. Whether you believe you have gifts or not, I'm sure you do. And sometimes your experiences will be the very thing that will trigger you to enter into a space of no longer being able to deny, no longer being able to hide all of the gifts, all of the goodness, all of the potentiality. And people can keep fucking plotting behind your back. They are jealous bitches who have no space in your life for their bullshit unless you hold space for them. So stop holding space for them. For me personally, I only have room for the things that will grow me, the things that will help me to deepen and ripen in my understanding of myself, the things that facilitate me loving myself more, me allowing myself to heal more deeply. For those of you who have been joining me on TikTok, you've been seeing me like, I don't like the way you talk to me. Ban. I don't care. And some people might be like, "Oh my god, how are you gonna build a following?" I don't want followers. I just need to be publicly visible. That's it. I don't I'm not looking to, um, have some type of following. If people wanna walk with me, that's one thing. Followers, I'm not trying to build followers. If you can't approach me in the way that I deserve, which is this minimum level of mutual respect between us, I don't want it. I don't need it. There's billions of people in this world. I'm not wasting my time and what little space I have in my life on people that I have to worry if you're going to be plotting. Nah, fuck that shit. There's other things that I'm here to do. And worrying about petty people, jealous people, small, mediocre people who are comparing themselves to things they will never compare to, that's none of my business. That's none of my business. And I hope that you enter into a mindset where those people are none of your business either. It's not about wishing them harm. It's about understanding you cannot prevent them from harming themselves. And if you celebrate someone else's harm, what makes you so different than them? Nothing. Just like it's not your job to make sure that they heal, it is not your obligation to pray for their downfall. Shitty people will have shitty lives because that is what they choose for themselves on a consistent basis. They gonna punish themselves in your absence. Don't worry about it. You don't need to check in. You don't need to make sure that they got their karma, that they got some lick back or whatever the hell else the saying is these days. You just move forward. You keep going forward. Focus on what you need to focus on. Focus on growing. Focus on allowing yourself to pay attention to the ways in which your soul is using your life to shift and change you in the most beautiful ways possible, right? And sometimes the most beautiful things don't seem or feel so beautiful at the very start of it. I know I've been changing in the past few weeks. At first, those changes did not look pretty at all. At all. At all. And I gave myself permission to just show up as myself, and it is what it is. And as I witnessed it for what it is, I allowed myself to give myself permission to shift 1 degree at a time. And I'm kind of getting to a space right now where it's like, okay, okay, this is different, but not that different. But it's just different enough that I won't end up in the places I'm afraid to end up in, which is a space of being just absolutely angry at life, at creation, at everything and everyone, right? It's a beautiful thing to be able to see that I did not, in this process of grieving, um, find myself hating myself. That's huge. That's huge. And maybe the plotting behind your back is not a bad thing. Maybe the plotting that's happening without your awareness is soul preparing a massive, massive celebration in your honor because you're about to show up in ways you didn't think you could. Damn, you're about to show up. You're about to be witnessed. The world is about to see the actual gravity of your existence. It's about to bear witness to you. You're a bigger deal than you give yourself any type of credit for. You are a much bigger deal than you allow yourself to acknowledge. I think part of the reason why soul has to plot behind your back to make this happen is because every time it's asked you to allow, you've fought the process, you've fought yourself, you've stepped into a space of pretending you are less than you are. And when you couldn't pretend anymore, you went ahead and you allowed yourself to experience things with the very people who would love to tear you down, who would love to shrink you, who would love to do whatever they can to convince you that really you're nothing. And even in that, you know what my definition of God is? And I've shared this before. Someone tried to start a full on argument with me on someone else's post on Facebook years ago. And I guess they went to some like theological program. They took some theology courses. Well, newsflash, motherfucker. So did I. So did I. So their basis of attack was being initiated with a singular question: define God, because they had the definition of God and they know everything. My definition of God: the everything, the nothing, and the spaces in between. These people who want to try and convince you through adversarial practices that you are nothing, that's still an aspect of God. So now they've shown you one aspect of yourself all the way on one end of the spectrum. And you know what's going to happen? As soon as you let go of your death grip on that position that they put you in, you're going to be flung all the way to the other side, the opposing side of that spectrum. You're going to go from the nothing to the everything. And in that process, you will familiarize yourself with everything that exists in between those two extremes. That's the process that you're in right now. Finding your totality, finding your centeredness, understanding how capable you are, understanding how beautifully orchestrated this is by soul. It is pre-planned, and you get to decide how you will experience it. The details that create the finishing touches of the experiences of your life. That is what you are tasked to choose the details for. No matter what, no matter how hard you fight it, you're going to find yourself in a space of understanding the gravity of you. I think for many of us, that's scary. Why? Because you can't play small anymore. You just can't. And I think the more appropriate thing to consider is, why should you play small? What's going on here? Pedro's touching my nose. He needs to keep his grubby little fairy fingers to himself. He's touching my nose. Stop it. Señor. Oh, señor. Stop it. So, cleansing. The way you see yourself is about to be cleansed. And how do you do that? How do you cleanse away the distortions? You want to know the most efficient way soul can find to do that? I could tell you. You want me to tell you? By getting you so fucking pissed off that you refuse to accept anymore. Boom. Have you been feeling yourself getting angry as of late? Getting real, just angry, people just triggering you. Like, you just sitting in your own lane. People keep swerving into your lane, saying things, doing things, getting real uncomfortable because, like, man, why, why can't you just leave me be? I'm minding my own business. I'm minding my own business. Yeah. Soul is making you so uncomfortable, so angry that you're going to choose to exit out of that space. And it's going to be a choice that is fueled with so much emotion that regardless of who is plotting behind your back, You are going to just bulldoze through any obstacles placed before you. You're going to get through this beautifully, powerfully, intentionally. Is going to require, for some of you who refuse to go through the process, um, feeling like you have been disrespected. You know, that's that's a process that I'm just all too familiar with. I'd be getting real comfortable letting people be too comfortable with me. And I'm sure many of you can relate to that, getting a little too comfortable, letting people get comfortable with you and thinking they can just act however they want to act with you and um, disregard you and disrespect you, and you just gonna be quiet because you don't want any conflict, and you don't want this and you don't want that and soul don't care. Soul don't care. Whatever reasonings that you can come up with to justify why you're not gonna, and you just need to be quiet. Soul don't care about those reasonings. If you're not making the moves that need to be made and flowing in the way that you need to flow, soul will continue to bring these triggering people into your life. Not everything needs to be allowed to trigger you, though. Grandma Nana, thank you for, I think it was yesterday, you reminded me to breathe. You reminded me to breathe. And I was like, yes. Whew, whew. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. You know what I'm saying? Um, I think maybe sometimes we do need to be aggressive. Not always. Not always, of course. Physically aggressive? I mean, I don't know. Are you being physically threatened? Then if that's the case, yeah. But if not, then I mean, I don't know. I don't feel that that's typically necessary, right? But aggressive with your energy to let people know, like, you about to cross a line. You about to cross a line. I don't know if you're gonna like it. What happens when you get to that other side of that line? Because on this side, we bout it, baby boo. On this side of the line, we bout it, right? And sometimes you have to be stern with your tone. You have to speak the language that the individual you're addressing is fluent in. And if they don't understand the language of softness and grace, compassion and kindness, softly spoken words, well, let me speak your language then, motherfucker. Meditate and contemplate. Meditate and contemplate, right? Meditate and contemplate. I think for some of us, we're needing to kind of get a little quiet, and we need to have some stillness. We need to let the thoughts come in and come out. No action, right? Okay. For others of us, contemplation oftentimes is a precursor to the action, because before you can put the appropriate action, you have to first contemplate, is this the correct option that I'm selecting? What are the potential, side effects? How is this going to play out? Is it going to have an outcome that I want? Plotting behind your back, but you already know. So if you already know, you need to begin contemplating on how this will be corrected, and also how this can be utilized to help you progress. Okay, now someone's eating some chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets. Can you dip it in some sweet and sour sauce? I haven't had that in forever. Can you just, like, do you have some sweet and sour sauce? Because I would love to taste that again. If you just do me that favor. So, sweet tea with some chicken nuggets and sweet and sour sauce. If you could also get like a apple pie along with a little bit of a sundae, that would just be so good. And, Miss Janet, if you could get some hopia pie from McDonald's, I'm sure they still have it, just let a girl know when I should be ready to taste. I would love it. I would love it. All right, adjustments are required. No, they're not. It's in reverse. No adjustments. Everything is already perfectly calibrated. Everything is going to happen in the way it's meant to happen. Whatever this plotting is, it's in your favor. It might not seem like it at first. It might seem like whoever this is, whatever this is, it's shady, it's messed up. You know what? You know what? No, that's enough. I just had an aha moment. All the cards from this point forward, I want it to be geared and interpreted towards the furthering of your journey, your development, your healing, your cause, your growth, all of that stuff, right? All of that stuff. So your hard work is paying off. It's in reverse. This is telling me that you are working very hard. You're not seeing the fruits of your labor yet. But just like the plant, the seed that has been planted appears to be doing nothing for the first few weeks, right? For the first few weeks. So let it do what it's doing. Keep watering it. Keep providing the light. Keep doing whatever needs to be done to ensure the continuation of the growth that is not perceptible above the surface yet. You're making progress. Don't worry about it. Balance spirituality and practicality, but it's in reverse. Now you're going to have to go all in. You're going to have to go all in. There's going to be things where it's strictly practical. The decision must be completely practical. And then there's other aspects where it's not going to make sense, but soul is instructing you, and you are going to need to just like bada bing, bada boom. And that's that. You know, um, let me see if I have the video. I do. I do have the video. Fascinating. Fascinating. I came across someone else's content regarding astrology, and I think it's like the 29th degree or some yada yada yada. And then it was stitched with an interview with a billionaire, and how millionaires don't use astrology for their financial moves, but billionaires do, and that's the difference between them, and all of this stuff, right? And I'm like watching the video, and I downloaded it because she was talking about some really fascinating things for me in particular. I have the capacity to see patterns and identify the patterns readily. I'm very good at pattern recognition. Um, if you can see the patterns, and then you can see the way these patterns typically play out. And you can begin to follow the strings because of your awareness of how those patterns, the reverberations of those frequencies feel and what those feelings mean. You can then begin to really, really make some powerful moves. When I do the soul based business mentorship for people, um, that's part of what's happening. It's this testing of the resistance and the resonance that ensues, the different types of potentialities that are being presented, the ideas, the visuals that soul gives. And that brings us back around to the title, plotting behind your back, but you already know, you feel it. You feel the ways in which soul is setting you up for success. You feel the ways in which your soul is bringing you closer and closer and closer to specific interactions, connections, Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. And in comes in comes this type of info. Someone is counting down the days for your paths to cross, and it is a good thing, not a bad thing, a good thing. They carry within them an awareness of why the path that they travel and the path that you travel must intersect soon. Don't get freaked out because soul has zero concept of soon. Soul is full of shit when it comes to the concept of soon. You'll be like, soon, soon, 10 years later. And soul is like, yes, like I said, soon. Yeah. So you have no idea about human time. There's going to be a crossing of paths. And once the paths cross, this is the indication that big things are about to happen. I want confirmation. Oh my God. Okay, this next card. I was like, I want confirmation. And I look at this card. Nothing is yet set in stone, but it's in reverse. This is set in stone. This is set in stone. Okay. This is set in stone. Um, do I share this? Do I share this? It's time to share it. All right. So it's set in stone, this event, right? I'm accepting this message. I'm absolutely accepting this message. So there's this individual who I've known for quite some time. Our paths crossed years ago, quite a few years ago. And when our paths crossed quite a few years ago, there was instability. There was a lot of like um, sadness, stress, like kind of very similar to the situation that I find myself um, immersed in right now. Right. Um, and it's interesting because at that time I also changed platforms. I switched platforms abruptly. I didn't even explain shit. I just hopped out. I was like, fuck this. I'm done. And I switched platforms. And then one day they popped onto the new platform unannounced. And I don't think they were subscribed to me at that time either. And it was kind of it was refreshing. I enjoy them. They're a really good person. I enjoy them. But they hopped on and there was a little bit of interaction. They're a friend. And then they hopped off. And the pattern that I recognized, the resonance that got cataloged in my brain was during that period when that path crossed. It was like two lines of electricity crossing in a huge spark. Um, not a romantic spark either. But yeah, and then next thing you know, within the next maybe 5 or 7 days, my non-existent channel jumped by like 12,000 subs with no effort. But I freaked out. It scared me because I don't like to be around people I don't know. So then, of course, I kind of shut that down. Funny thing is, though, the other day, that same individual, um, there was a weird reverberation that I felt for a few seconds, and like, what the hell is that? And then because my phone is small, I was live on TikTok. My phone is small. I thought I saw them enter into the live stream, and I was like, no. I don't have good eyesight. No, that was not them. And then I felt the reverberation again one more time. I was like, what the hell is that? Because of course I don't remember where that originated from. And then they commented. And I was like, first off, how the fuck did you know I was live? I don't know how they knew I was live streaming because we don't follow each other on TikTok. It was weird. Um, not bad weird, but just weird. Because then it was like, You never go in my live streams. What are you doing here? What are you doing here? And it's not a bad thing. It's a thing of, I know you. I know the way your brain functions. You're observing from a different perspective. What did you pick up on that made you curious enough to see if I was live streaming on a completely different platform? And the sense that I got is they're being told it's time, or time is approaching. Time for what? Well, when we do work together, we haven't worked together yet, but when we do work together, many, many things will happen rapidly because that is the charge we carry separately. And when you place it together, it becomes something profound, very, very, very profound. I knew exactly why they were on there. I know their curiosities. I know how their mind functions. I'm sure they were looking at algorithm stuff. I'm sure of it. I'm sure they were checking and testing, and they were observing the effects of the interactions with the audience. What can I sustain? What is the interaction rate like? Thinking of funnels and all kind of different whatever their stuff is. Um, when that path crosses again, it didn't cross just then. It was like, ooh, side by side for a few minutes and then diverge again. And that's okay. It's not quite time yet. But when the paths cross, and I'm speaking about everyone at this point, that's going to set off an entire cascade of events that's going to lead to a watershed year, watershed in every single way possible. Emotional growth, financial growth, a restabilization occurring for you. Excuse me. You being pulled out of timeout, you being able to see in real life the way soul is speaking to you and creating events because you're not allowing yourself to receive the downloads for advanced knowledge of what's going to happen. Soul is like, that's fine. You can fly blind. We just going to shove it through. We're going to push it through. We're going to make it happen. And all you got to do is let go. All you have to do is let go. And I promise all of you, the next time that path crosses between myself and that individual, I'm not clamping anything down. Do you guys remember when I showed you that image? My kid took a picture of they took a screenshot of their iPad. They were on one of my videos, and my kid thought that I was just like this huge deal, like some type of online celebrity. And I was just like, no, baby, I'm not. I am not a big deal. I was like, bless your heart. I am not a big deal. I'll show you. I'll show you 1 second. It's here. This right here. I had taken a picture of their iPad because I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Emmy evolving 9.39 million subscribers. That's what their iPad was showing. That was a path cross. There are some people who are meant to be part of your life in some way. If you're going to keep partitioning everything to be like, oh, they're going to be my lover. They're going to be my lover. Like, there's so much more to life than that. Like, so much more to life than that. If you can allow people to take their rightful place in your journey, where maybe you're just supposed to be really good friends, maybe they're supposed to help trigger you into a space of learning about yourself. Maybe that's what your Soul is plotting to help you to get to a space of um, accepting what is rightfully for you, whether it's recognition, public recognition, or just healing, or solidified. I don't know. There's plans that are being hatched in your favor. And as of right now, they're not yet filtering into your um, human life. But the more you can step into a space of acknowledging and accepting your limitless nature, the more movement will happen. The more movement, the higher the likelihood of these events, very, very beneficial events for you to take place, that the more likely that will happen. Be still in reverse movements. You need to allow the movement, right? You need to allow the flow, not forcing it, but allowing, just allow, allow. And I think whoever needs to cross your path, again, it doesn't feel like it's a romantic thing. At least the message doesn't feel romantic. Um, Whoever this is that needs to cross your path, I think they also have some idea of how this is supposed to play out between the two of you. Like how you guys will be able to help each other in whatever way you're supposed to be there for each other, right? Whether it's just, a shoulder to lean on when you're tired, someone to bounce ideas off of, um, all sorts of different things, all sorts of different things. The lack of motion is what's causing the lack of formation, the lack of tangible proof that this is happening already. And it's not going to be tangible. The evidence you're looking for, the signs and all of that, you're not going to be able to receive it so long as you remain in a space of being unbalanced, being upside down in your perception of yourself. Um, So soul has been trying to trigger you into specific mindsets. But you're refusing to react. You're refusing to react. Why? You're trying to pretend that it doesn't make sense. Okay. You're trying to pretend that it doesn't make sense, that it's not possible, that it's not this, it's not that. You're trying to just be very, very level, just very, very like, we'll see. If it is, it is. If it isn't, it isn't. I'm not tripping. Right? You're not allowing your emotions to really grab hold. So I'm saying that. And then I see Michael's fat finger. You got fat fingers. All your fingers are, not just your thumbs. I'm just talking shit to Michael. He keeps pointing at this comment. And whatever happens with that is going to happen with that. I'm open to it. I will not stop it. I will not interfere with it. I will not get in the way of it. But yeah, so that's what he's pointing out. I don't know. I don't know the answer. But that's the thing. If you're not going to set the intention, because that was one of the cards, right? Setting the intention. Where are you at? Here. Oh no. No. Here. Setting that intention, because this came in reverse. You're not going to set that intention, then it's going to be much harder to bring it to fruition. Right? You can float along and perpetuate struggle unnecessarily, or you can be very focused. You can be very, very, very focused. So, the individual that I was talking about earlier was actually the individual who convinced me to start a TikTok account back in 2017. But I was just like, this is just weird. I don't want to be on here. So I wasn't. And then somewhere in like 2020, I think it was like 2020. I tried to revisit it. I had no intentions at all. And pretty much every day I was just loading short clips of really rushed 3 card readings for every single sign of the zodiac. And I really didn't want to do that, but I was just doing it because I was going through the motions, no intentions really. So really, it, was kind of just floating along and nothing was happening with it. And then come January ish, I think January or maybe December last year, it was really this thing of, oh, no, 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 no. It was the year before. The year before. It was this thing of, okay, I'll try. And then it started to pick up a little bit. I got over 1,000. And then I was just like, I don't know. This place is weird. Tiki Tac is weird. It's just weird. People interact there in a weird way. I'm used to my little sanctuary space here with you guys. Everyone's just chill, right? Yeah. And then, like, what, another year goes by. And then finally, I'm pissed off. I'm fucking pissed off because I'm sick and tired of the bullshit pertaining to a stupid ass clown. Sick and tired of it. So now I have the fuel. I'm fucking mad. Took me how many years, but now I'm fucking mad. And then came the conversation with Michael. What are you going to do about it? I beg your finest, most bougiest pardon. That's what he said. I was so pissed off that day. So pissed off. I was in tears. And he's like, what are you going to do about it? That was the face that came forward. And it was that same feeling leaving the last platform. It's time to move forward. This time I'm not stopping. It's time to move forward. And now I have an intention and the kind of progression that's happening. Some people would say it's growing pretty fast. I say it's moving along in a slow manner. It's moving along. It's going to move along faster now that I'm healing through this cycle of grief. I'm starting to heal a little bit through this cycle of grief, and I can focus a little bit more. And I'm staying absolutely committed to what I decided a few months back. Right? I'm staying committed to it. And there's a lot of things being thrown in the way, but I'm not going to yield for anything I've set my intention for. I will not yield. That intent is what's going to get you to speed through your process. If you don't have an intention, you still get through that process. You will. You will. It's not just me blindly believing in you. You will get through that process, but you're going to bullshit quite a bit. You're going to waste a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy. But if that process is what it takes for you to get to where you need to be, then I don't see it as a waste. Is there a more efficient way? Absolutely. 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 In everything that I've set the intention for myself, I'm able to achieve it very quickly. Why? Because I have ADHD. You see, people think ADHD just makes you totally like, you know, ooh, something shiny. Yeah, that happens too. Easily distracted. But hot diggity damn. When you focus, the degree of hyperfixation that takes place. I'm saying you cut through everything like a laser and you make things happen, not because you're forcing it, but because nothing will stand in the way And, maybe it's time for that. Maybe it's time for you to get to a point where you're so pissed off about how long everything is taking that now you're like, nothing's going to stop me. I need to do this, this, and I'm going to make it happen. Yes, you will. How do you know, Emmy? Because you said you will and you're going to make it happen. What do you mean? How do I know? How do you not know? And if you don't know, it's because you have never taken a chance on yourself and believed in yourself in the ways and the depth that I'm willing to believe in you. What's the difference between you and I? When it comes to accomplishing things, what's the difference between you and I? When things get hard, you probably get discouraged. See, I'm combative as fuck. I'm combative. I'm confrontational and combative. When I get frustrated, those are the characteristics that come up. Is that a good thing? Most people would say no. Why is that not a good thing? Well, because who wants to help you if you're fighting? Who said I was fighting people? I become very combative with my own fear, with my hesitation. I become very, very combative with that. I get very confrontational with myself. Like, no, bitch, get the fuck up. You're doing it. Yeah. Get up. You're doing it. Yeah. And because I can channel my emotions in that way rather than shutting myself down, I can get a lot of things done. That doesn't mean I never shut down. You guys have seen me basically in the process of shutdown for the past 2 months at this point. But even in my shutting down, has that drive gone away? No, no, it's still there. Dig deep and find your drive. Your soul has been plotting for months, if not years, properly aligning everything for you. All you have to do is what soul tells you to do. And even if you can't hear those messages, you sure as hell can feel it. That feeling you keep having of you should do this and you should do that, and you don't know why. When are you going to listen to that? When the opportunity is no longer present and you're going to have to wait for another cycle to bring it back around several years later? That's fine. You're still going to get it done, but why waste all that time? Why waste all that time? I'm looking at my life and everything that I've done business wise, the trajectory is always the same. No matter the industry, the trajectory is always the same. Given X amount of time, which is not a lot of time, to be honest, um, the amount of brand recognition that I'm able to garner is impressive. And as I do that, the stage is set for a massive launch. And I always pull back at that point. So I'm looking at these patterns. I can either see those patterns of my old businesses as failures, evidence of me giving up, or I could see it as me choosing not to see the end result. And the end result for every single one is massive, undeniable success. So clearly, that's part of my destined path to be undeniably successful in the most massive way possible. So, what does that mean? Well, what's my dream? To help people. To help people. And if I stop getting in the way of what is destined for me, if I allow that to happen, if I support the happening of that, well, then I'll have the ability to actually help people on the scale that I want to help people. And what scale is that? Globally. Not citywide, not countywide, not statewide, not nationwide, I'm speaking global. I want to help all peoples. That's going to require tremendous amounts of success and influence. And I'm done holding myself back. I want to see my dreams come to fruition. I want that. I want it bad. So, what's going to happen? I have to look at the trajectory of my life. Every single time I've put effort, it's been the same result that's waited to be allowed to come into my life. So, all I have to do now is allow it. Continue the effort, continue the focus, and allow it. It's the same recipe for you. You have to stop looking at your life and all of these redirections as failures and evidence of you giving up on yourself. Because were you giving up on yourself? Or were you simply done observing where it's going to go, knowing that's not the pathway you want to take to get to the top of the mountain where you belong? Just because you didn't take Avenue A does not mean you no longer belong at the top of your mountain. It just means you've chosen a different road. That's all that means. So what are you going to do about it? You're going to sit on the side of the road crying because now you're on what? Street B instead of Avenue A, and so now you're just, it's done. My opportunity's gone. No, it's not. Get back in that fucking car and keep driving. But what if I run out of gas? Okay, well, nothing's going to happen sitting on that side of the road. Drive further down the road to see if there's a gas station. All of these coping mechanisms that society has programmed into us. It was always covertly designed to keep you from getting to where you need to be. All of it. They never wanted you to succeed. They never wanted you to heal, not beyond what they could control. Who cares? They're irrelevant to you. The people who created these programs that were designed to continue to enslave you mentally, emotionally, financially, socially, they're not even alive anymore. Why are you continuing to participate in those programs? What? Because they're great, 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 great grandchildren are still pushing those programs. Well, they're just as shitty as their forefathers. So who cares? They're just as irrelevant. Keep your focus on what you are trying to achieve. Soul is already plotting. It's plotting to ensure your success. You ask me, Emmy, how are you going to get to the top of your mountain? I have no idea. All I know is I have 2 feet, 2 legs, 2 hands, 2 arms, one hell of a brain, and the attitude to get there. How are you going to make it happen? I don't know, but fucking watch me. That's the answer. I don't know. Watch me. And after you have that declaration, what's there left to say? Nothing, because you're going to be too busy making it happen. All the parts are aligning. You're not even aware of magnetism in reverse. You're not aware of the ways in which your mindset is repatterning your energy to pull these things to you. Everything in moderation, though. Everything in moderation. Right? Everything in moderation. There's no need to rush. There's no need to try and prove anything. There's just a need to flow in the way that soul is asking you to flow. So flow. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Put #1, #2, or #3. Whatever you're drawn to, that is what you should pull or put hashtag for. I'm going to pull the cards. Just a quick reminder, this is the final week. We have for the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop, it's going to be next weekend, not this coming weekend, but next weekend. If you would like to partake in that, I don't know if we're sold out actually. I don't know. Click on it. Just click on it. If you can still buy something, then there's still a seat left. If you can't, then there's no seat. I don't know how many people are in there. It's pretty full at this point though. I know that for sure. So the Morphogenetic Fundamentals workshop is where I teach you how to maintain your energy um using the system that I came into this life just knowing how to harness. I teach the applied biospiritual theories of aura spectra bioregenesis, and my system is called Kokoro 33. So let us get started. Get this off the screen, and we have hashtag one. Okay. Hashtag one. Actually, no, let's do hashtag three first because y'all, poor people, you guys always are last. All right. Hashtag three. So, card number 31. Card number 31. Okay, here goes. Here goes. Hashtag three. Card number 31, seventh house partners. Marriage is neither heaven nor hell, it is simply purgatory. Bindings, whether emotional and domestic or lawful and what is right or permissible, are indicated now. So you're needing to make a decision of how you are going to halt the toxic influence on your journey. For some of you, this person is flat out malignant. They're going out of their way to try and negatively impact your efforts. For others of you, this person is just a drain in energy. They are someone that you cannot rely on. They are someone that continues to just be a burden that you have to carry. That sucks, but you got to make some decisions for it, okay? The seventh house is the area of the chart that represents the other, since it's opposed to the first house of the self. Traditionally, it's been thought to be the house of marriage and marriage partners. And although this may still be the primary meaning, the other can also include friends and family and peer groups. So it can mean significant others, such as coworkers. Since it's the traditional house of Libra, it governs fairness, balance, and the law. It is also the house of open enemies. You see what I'm saying? This is someone who um, is moving through your spaces as though they have some type of authority to do so, to have access to you, your resources, and things like that. When the seventh house card presents itself in a reading, it usually means one of two things: either issues dealing with partners or significant others, or court cases and legal issues. The card itself is neutral, much like the actual seventh house, which strives for balance. So the surrounding cards will indicate the basic meaning. I think the basic meaning for those who chose hashtag three is that it's time for you to set an intention and further define what it is you're working towards. The Pisces, okay. Um, This card could imply that a relationship could be slowly dissolving or fading, much like a shoreline with a sea, erasing names written in the sand. Misinformation or lying could be part of it. If the card is referring to a court case or a legal issue, it's not a good time for that. The end result may not be what is hoped for or one that might drag on. Again, ending over time in a dissolving way with no real closure. So, Hmm. This could also indicate dispassionate or old partners, maybe even okay, I read that as patterns. I'm sorry. This section does not feel like it doesn't feel like it's relating to what this particular energy is. Okay. This card could indicate power struggles and even ruthlessness would figure in. There could be issues of domination and control with those factors. This could apply to partnerships and legal rulings. Um, oh, Lord. Excuse me. Michael goes, no, no, not that. So for people who chose #3, this can mean an engagement, a marriage, or relationship moving to the next level, as in a partnership becoming more settled and gaining maturity. It can also imply getting ready for a more serious relationship. In the case of dysfunctional or unhealthy relationships, you can look to surrounding cards to see how they will fare in the near future. So it's a lot of changes, good things, and openly bad things. You're going to have to discern the difference between the two and see exactly what it is you need to do here. Okay. We're going to do #1 now. Here you go. Excuse me. I need to go to sleep. I'm so sleepy. Okay. Card number 33 for #1. Ninth house, faith. Uh-oh. Is my audio okay? I accidentally touched it. Oh no. Okay. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-bum. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Okay. I'm sorry, what? Oh. Okay. Card number 33 for #2. Obstacle. Okay. We travel, some of us forever, to seek other states, other lives, other souls. Obstacles are being lifted. The ninth house in astrology is a house position for the sign Sagittarius and is ruled by the planet Jupiter, the planet of openness, luck, and expansion. This area of the traditional horoscope wheel is the ninth house of travel, philosophy, high mindedness, and also religion. The ninth house represents a search for meaning through established structures. Things to do with government and religion may come about whenever the ninth house is included. Destiny, fate, and karma all come into play, as well as your view of what God may or may not be. It's the house of knowledge, higher learning, lawyers, doctors, and astrologers. It is most definitely of the higher mind and our need to unite with something greater. In this way, the ninth house represents churches and schools, especially ones that are old, established, and scholarly. Since it opposes the third house of communication and writing, the ninth house represents publishing and influences through the written word. So there's something that you're needing to kind of write out. I don't know if you need to do a practice of simply writing things down and focusing your energy in that way so you can bring it to fruition, or if it's something more intense than that. It speaks of forum for written ideas and concepts, also of joining a reputable literary world. So this house is important in the charts of writers or anyone who wishes to bring their ideas into forum, usually planet wide. So for those #1, there's something that you're going to create that's going to have a ripple effect through the entirety of the world. It's the open house. It's the house of open ranges, journeying, and opportunity. The ninth house also represents esoteric matters like psychics, psychic fairs, the new age, counterculture gatherings, or places where offbeat people gather together for some visionary cause. It also represents the relevance of obtaining psychic information. The Rosicrucians, an esoteric organization based on ancient structures, are symbolized by the ninth house. Huh. Rosicrucians. Hold on. Something to do with their cross. Um, Man is a spirit with all the powers of God, powers that are being slowly unfolded in a series of existences in a gradually improving body, a process under the guidance of exalted beings, ordering our steps in a decreasing measure as man gradually acquires intellect and will. Their view of God, proceeding from the physical world to the inner worlds, God is the architect of the solar system, the source and goal of human existence. Hmm. I want their cross. Okay. So the rose represents silence, while the cross signifies salvation, to which the Society of the Rose Cross devoted itself by teaching mankind the love of God and the beauty of brotherhood. They saw it as a human process. Hmm. Hmm. Shabbat Stileth. Shabbat Stileth. The red bulb is mentioned 48 times in the Bible. Jesus illustrates the rose for its rarity, beauty, and sweet, wonderful fragrance. Its fragrant flowers include a crown in the center. Mm, there's a message to it that I'm not quite getting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. There's a message to it that is just it is eluding me. I don't know it. So, oh, you've never seen a Rosicrucian crop. Hold the phone. Rosicrucians. Rosicrucian. Oops. Okay. There's a lot of symbolism for this one. A lot of symbolism. Um, but yeah. Huh. There's something to it. I'm not quite getting what the message is. Mm. Hmm. I don't know. Okay, let's see. The most mundane meaning behind the ninth house card is traveling to distant places. Usually, when this card appears, the reason is for knowledge or for broadening of understanding. There will be a desire to visit places of arcane wisdom and knowledge, where you can expect the history behind the area to be very well documented. The journey will be uncharted, one of deep mystery and exploration. Scriptures or religious books may figure in. There will be a longing to connect with something greater than the individual self. This card indicates a temporary disconnect from close family where you depart from your known life into another one as a pilgrim or a seeker. I think that's how it figures in. Um it's a pilgrimage. A pilgrimage through matter. So some of their practices include Hermeticism, Jewish mysticism, and Christian Gnosticism. The central feature of their beliefs is that the members possess secret wisdom that was handed down to them from ancient times. So, oh, okay. I think part of what's happening here for those who chose #1, the message that I was like, I don't understand what this means. You're going to be receiving messages directly from your soul ancestry. These are downloads. It's an awareness that's going to come to you about your purpose, your path, how you're going to move through your path, and what needs to happen at this point. You know, um, you're probably going to need to step back from the dominant mindset of your environment, like what most people believe. I don't think it's going to um I don't think it's going to be something that is going to fit into your belief structures. Very soon everything's going to change with the way you see your life and the way you see the world and the way you move through everything. So just be ready for that, okay? um Excuse me. This card indicates that you're about to depart on an important journey. It may be an outward voyage, it may be an inward excursion. Either way, you'll be changed through the process. This card has to do with what has been tried and tested and what is already established. No matter how expansive or broad minded, it will be rooted in the traditional. So you're going to be going beyond what you thought is like the norm, beyond what you thought your beliefs actually are. You're going to be invited to go so deep into your thoughts, into your journey, that you're going to come out the other side with a level of awareness that is going to make it a little bit uncomfortable for the people in your environment. They're not going to understand you. They're not going to understand the changes. They don't need to understand you. You're probably going to want them to understand you so that they can accept you, but you might not get that. Okay. And that's, oh, I did number 3 already. Number 2, it's for your benefit. It goes back to that thought of, you know, you've gotten too comfortable being around people who are excessively comfortable with trying to shrink you down and trying to shut you up and all of these other things. Like all of that has to stop. So your soul is trying to get you out of these environments that are not allowing for your growth to take place. Okay. Those who chose hashtag 2. Excuse me. It has been a long day. Okay. Hashtag 2. Card number 48. Yod. Destiny. A person often meets his destiny on the road he took to avoid it. So you're about to enter into your destined path. For those who chose hashtag 2, you're about to enter into your destined path. The ancients believed that the yod was an area of fate in the chart and not a particularly favorable one. Okay. Um, let's see. Huh. It has a mystical implication signifying the omnipresence of God and often denoting humility because the energy is locked in a triangular configuration, causing matters to be fated and often difficult, but not without their rewards. So, what's about to happen right now? Well, not right now, but for those who chose hashtag 2, what this reading, this message is about, it's pertaining to Paladorian contracts. There are things that are going to be put into play. You're not going to be able to avoid it. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's something that's definitely going to challenge you and possibly intimidate you. And in that moment of intimidation, you're going to want it to not be allowed, but you're not going to be able to avoid this. Um, the odd configuration is influential and implies that there's a disruptive force at work. So that process of pushing you forward by way of adversity, that's kind of been the theme for this whole reading. This whole conversation has been how adversity and discomfort will be used to get you to keep moving. In a sense, this astrological placement of planets is somewhat in exile from the other planetary energies because they are not harmonious with each other and therefore cause tension. You haven't been playing nice with your higher self. You've been ignoring it. This can bring out feelings of intense stress and restriction. There can also be a sense of being different, feeling alone, and of being out of step with others at times. Um, this can even indicate that you are the black sheep of the family. When this card presents itself in a reading, it means that the situation may be chaotic or may soon turn that way. It will be hard to see any clear path because of this chaos, but it will be important to weather through it all. You are not allowed to give up. You are not allowed to shut down and stay shut down. Okay. You may wish for more support when this card comes up and will have to manage this all on your own. Another development may turn up, and that is you will prefer to work it out on your own without any interference from others. This card can denote a time to voyage inward and come to your own truth. There really isn't anyone who will have the tools to figure this out more than you at this time. So now may not be the best time to take advice from others. You're going to have to do this on your own terms, your own time, your own decisions. Um, Let's see. You might have some autoimmune stuff going on, fibromyalgia, thyroiditis, allergies. Um, Although these diseases would not be life threatening, they could still be a crucible of sorts with a need for drastic changes to be made for relief or for symptoms to subside. More positively, this card means that circumstances are good for achieving your goal, but be prepared for sacrifices on your part and not just one, but several. You're going to have to give up the comfortable space of discomfort you've been existing in. I know, make it make sense, right? You have a desire for greater awareness, which will come through dedication. But patience and adaptability are necessary in making this situation work to fulfill your greater purpose, the one you were born for. Who is that? Sorry. I just pick up on someone. Anyways, so those who chose hashtag two, um, Michael's laughing. What is so funny? Who is that? He won't say anything. Anyways, he says read one last card. One final card. Final card, guys. Final card. We'll make it a Kiki card. Okay, Kiki, give us a good one. Oh Lord. All right, all right, all right. We picked a card. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. All right. My plants were feeling confused for some reason because the light was still on. All right, card number 25. Here goes. Card number 25. The Sacred River Yangtze. The sacred river eternally flows and changes. Just as the river flows and changes course, you too are evolving in your divine path. Veils and sheaths that once covered your soul light are being washed away. Cleansing by sacred water specifically indicates that your emotional life and your life direction are being purified and healed. And this is a message for everyone, for all of us, okay? Changes in the flow of energy within you and in the momentum of your life path are unfolding. What? Hold on. Changes in the flow of energy within you and in the momentum of your life path unfolding are imminent. This is exciting. You're growing and changing, and soon your life circumstances will reflect your inner evolution. So, as within, so without, right? All that potentiality that you have stored inside you is going to be coming out, and you won't be able to stop it. You won't be able to hide it. It'll be something super beneficial for you. The sacred, oh, wait. The sacred river Yangtze is in which beloved Kuan Yin delights is always subtly changing course, flowing and growing. You, like the sacred river, are changing too. Your life direction is going through subtle realignments or even in the midst of a far more obvious change. You're encouraged to trust in the natural unfoldment of this process and to allow it to work its way through you and your life. The sacred river is an extension of the intelligent guidance of the Divine Mother, her hand reaching through your soul and guiding you towards your highest destiny. She helps the higher self release any impurities which it no longer needs to contain. In doing so, there can be a period of spiritual release and even physical detoxification. The detox may occur through emotions that surface, inexplicable pains or aches in the body, a feeling of tiredness for no particular reason, and a need to rest or the urge to meditate more, do healing, go for swims in the ocean, attend a yoga class, or other things that make you happy. These are natural intuitive impulses that come from your soul is going through a cleansing process as it brings more of its purity into expression on the physical plane. Kuan Yin speaks as the soul of the sacred river now and guides you to be kind to yourself during these changes and to honor your inner guidance as your own inner light grows stronger. Trust the flowing changes of the sacred river through your life. You may observe that people are even more attracted to your light during such time and in the period following this shift in your light quotient. You're holding more light in your being, and without the old veils covering your inner light, your soul is able to shine through matter stronger than ever before. Some people will be attracted to those changes in you, and your relationships will grow and improve. There might be some that are fearful of the changes. Keep firm boundaries that are loving and don't worry about any extra attention you will receive. Your light is not just growing brighter, it's growing stronger too. And you will be ready to handle any situation that comes to you with joy, grace, and effectiveness. Be kind and patient. Stay true to yourself and trust that spiritual growth serves all. So, I'd say that's confirmation that you're going to be able to handle anything and everything your life brings your way. Whatever your soul is plotting to have you experience, you already know about it. You're being asked to prepare. And I don't feel like what your soul is wanting to bring you through is a hardship. I feel like your soul is preparing something beautiful, something very, very beautiful. But if you won't allow it to unfold, it can become something very complex and difficult very, very quickly. So allow the process, trust yourself, trust your soul, and most of all, be present. Just be present. Allow yourself allow yourself to receive what's rightfully for you. Okay. So, guys, I will see you again very soon. Please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go and find me on TikTok, the Real ME Evolving account. My real account, because there's quite a few fake accounts at this point. I only have 111 people that I follow. Only 111 people. So anyone, excuse me, anyone messaging you, it's not me. It's not me. Okay. Y'all know I don't message people. I will see you guys again very soon. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Stay